I'm not going to wait until there's people on TikTok saying, oh my gosh, they took my child, now I have nothing. I am going to do something now. So I've already called the hurricane relief hotline in North Carolina. I've informed them that DSS is violating civil rights and violating their own policy, and these people are being informed on their constitutional and parental rights. I told them that Paul Polinsky needs to send back those relief efforts to those areas that are still in need of resources. I said, your director, Paul Polinsky, is sending away these relief efforts, these resources, because he knows that nobody has nowhere to go. And that's not, no. I don't know how you got in the position that you're in, Paul Polinsky, but you need to step down. You need to be removed. These people are threatening these families that just suffered a hurricane, had everything taken away from them. They've already been traumatized. And now DSS said, oh, hold my beer, and tells them, I'm going to take your children. DSS, you can't take their children because in your policy, you're obligated to find them the resources they need to stay together. You don't get to rip children away from hurricane survivors. Your policies state that you are supposed to be obligated and dedicated to making sure they have the proper resources they need. It doesn't matter who they go stay with. They can go stay with whoever they want. They are not signed into services with you. If they tell you you can only do certain things, you tell them to show you in policy where it says that you have to do anything as an unsigned attendee. None of you signed up for DSS services. And if you did, revoke that signature and say, oh, you know what? I'm a hurricane victim. I signed under distress and I had no idea that's what you wanted me to sign. I revoke my signature. Don't fall for what they're doing. Call your inspector generals. Call your governors. Call your senator. North Carolina, stick up for your people because, honey, the next hurricane might come and wipe out the whole state, and then what are they going to do? Oh, we're taking all your children. Where are you going to put them? Where are you going to put all these kids? Same place that you put Alicia Bailey? Yeah, Alicia Bailey, the biracial girl that you have discriminated against and fraudulently used for funding, committing perjury and obstruction of justice. You are conspiring to commit fraud, North Carolina. And you're lucky I'm not an attorney, because I'd have a buttload of clients right now ready to take you to court for conspiracy to commit fraud. Help these people. Share this video, please. Download it to your device. Share it, because TikTok does not want people knowing this information. Every video that comes out about this happening, they get rid of. That tells me right there, it's true. I've got people that want to get involved, but they want to wait until they start taking kids, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm just not willing to let that happen. I don't care if this story is completely made up. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to tell people, hey, there's people saying this is happening. We need to make sure. I mean, what's so hard about making sure the state does their job? I really don't understand that. I will never understand why people don't get involved and say, hey, you're not doing your job as the state, and what we're going to do is turn your entire state and citizens against you and get you voted out if you don't fix what's happening. Paul Polinsky, you're a devil. You are a devil. Paul Polinsky, your job as the Director of Health and Human Services, your job is to oversee the welfare and support services provided to residents, including victims of disasters such as Hurricane Helen. Your duties would include ensuring that emergency response measures are properly coordinated, providing health and human services, and collaborating with other state and federal agencies to meet the needs of the affected individuals. But you're sending away these relief efforts while these individuals still need them. It says right here, sending away. The idea of a director intentionally sending away relief efforts to threaten families with the removal of their children, and it certainly looks like that's what you're doing, would be highly unethical and unlawful. DHHS and its leaderships are mandated to protect the well-being of residents, especially vulnerable populations such as children during crisis. If there were any claims or suspicions regarding inappropriate actions such as obstructing relief efforts or misusing authority to endanger families, these would be extremely serious accusations that would likely require a thorough investigation by oversight bodies or independent authorities. So, it says, if you have a specific concern or believe there is a sign of misconduct within DHHS or any government department, it might be important to report these to a governmental watchdog or oversight committee. So I'm about to call the state auditor this morning, and I'm going to email them, and I suggest that all of you who are involved in the Hurricane Helene situation, I suggest you do the same. Let them know if you are being threatened by DSS, and let them know that according to DSS policy, they can't do that. So for concerns related to state level agencies, here are the departments that you can reach out to. These are the departments that are supposed to provide oversight. I already gave you the North Carolina State Auditor, and you can go on ChatGPT and tell it that you are being threatened by DSS to have your child removed, and you are a victim of Hurricane Helene. You have lost everything that you have. Now you are being traumatized by the state. The state by law can't take your child because you don't have anywhere to go. It is their job to find you somewhere to go. And it sounds like they need to be reminded of that. So if you're in touch with a North Carolina DSS caseworker, you need to say, hey, I guess you guys aren't trained to thoroughly read your policy manual, but your policy manual states that you can't take our children because we don't have nowhere to go. It's not like we couldn't provide for our kids. We had a hurricane that wiped away everything. And our children and us can stay with neighbors and friends. There's plenty of people that stay with neighbors and friends, and it's not a crime and it's not against policy. Wake up, America. Wake up to the game they are trying to play. Again, here is that information for the state auditor. So here's that auditor information again, and I'm going to give you some more info as well. This is the Attorney General's office right here. Here is some more of that information, the Attorney General's office there. And here's some more information. This is the DHHS office. This is the office of Paul Polinsky, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, all of you should be calling him with an outrage, telling him, you are not overseeing DSS. They are threatening to take our children away, and that goes against our federal rights, that goes against our civil rights, and that goes against your policy. It is their job to find you a place to go. They get funded to keep your family together, but they use that funding inappropriately, and they obtain it fraudulently. And there we go. So please share this information. TikTok, stop suppressing my videos about what's happening in North Carolina. And the next time a DSS worker approaches you with these threats, video them. Get somebody who has a cell phone and video them and tell them, by law, I can video you. You are a public servant. And in every state, that is legal to video. And I would tell them that. What are you scared of? Why are you afraid of me videoing you? If you're here under true pretenses, you shouldn't be scared. But the fact that you are afraid to be videoed proves that you know you are breaking the law. You are violating policies. You are misusing your position. Guys, we got to get this taken care of. And I'm not waiting until somebody's kid gets took. I'm doing it now.